Hi, Subhash here from DSF.my, and behind me is the ORA 07 Extended Range Edition. I think they call it long range here in Malaysia. So this car is one of the three Chinese branded Tesla Model 3 killers. So the Model 3 arrived here last year with a very good price, starting below 200,000, and it had very good spec for that money. So a lot of the premium makes were kind of shaken. Then now the Chinese have come in. MG4 EV came in, similar kind of spec but cheaper. And the BYD Seal, of course, is the most popular of these three. That one also came in very good range, good spec, and the price is also below 200,000. And then this, the ORA 07, is the third of those three. It came in April. It went on sale, and it's been, I wouldn't say it's been well received, but of the three, I think it's the funkiest looking for sure. And it has a funkiest name, ORA 07. We all know ORA had the Good Cat first, which was the first Chinese electric car to be launched in Malaysia. So this car was supposed to be called the Lightning Cat. In the UK, I think it's still called the Lightning Cat. Here they changed it to 07, and I think globally they're going to start changing all their Cat branded cars to numbers. This is down to a copyright issue. I think they found out that they can't really copyright anything with the name Cat in it because it's like a universal term. So anyway, 07, not Lightning Cat. There's no more cat theme going on. In the Good Cat, you had like cat carpets and stuff like that. All that is gone. All that except for one small cat thing, which I'll try to show you later, but sometimes it doesn't really show. So how does this stack up against the rivals? Well, on paper, actually, it looks like this has the most range. It says 640 kilometers for this lower spec model. But actually, if you really look into the details, that 640 figure comes from a different kind of testing methodology. It's called the NEDC cycle, whereas the BYD and the MG4, they use WLTP. So if you normalize them, this is actually a bit lower. This is about 510, 520 kilometers, but you can't really do the conversion like that. It doesn't work out like that. So I did my own testing. I've had this car for quite a long time now. I'm going to have it for 10 days. But in the first few days, I drove it from my place to Klang, which is about 30 kilometers. That took about 5% of the battery. So when I work out the math, if you drive conservatively, 5%, 30 kilometers, so you should actually get 600 kilometers, which is close to what they claim. But this was very conservative driving. I mean, I didn't turn off the aircon or anything like that, and I was driving, not to say very fast, but I was on the fast lane most of the time. Heavy traffic, mixed highway and city driving. So 600 km, quite respectable. And of course, the look is a bit more, let's say, Porsche inspired than the rivals. So it stacks up pretty well. But of course, ORA versus BYD, we all know BYD, the name is spoken in the same breath as Tesla. So I think they have a bit of competition to go up against in Malaysia. So let's start with the design of this car. The design obviously is Porsche Panamera inspired, but I think it's a bit more than inspired because the lines are, not to say exactly the same, but almost exactly the same. The slope on the back roof is very 911 inspired, Panamera you could say also. But in my opinion, yes, this kind of formula should work because I am a fan of retro looks. And when you bring retro looks into the future, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And on this car, I think it's very close to not working. I think they pulled it off just about. But it really depends on the angle you're looking at. Because sometimes you look at this car from certain angles. I think from this angle, it's fine. But you look at it straight on from the back and it starts to look a bit weird. It looks like it has like kind of weird proportions, bug eyes. Probably not as big as it should be. The Panamera can pull off the look because it has the size. This car, I think it needs to be a little bit wider and a little bit longer to pull off this kind of stretched 911 look. And if you note, the Porsche Panamera also took 2 generations to get the look right. So maybe ORA needs another generation to get this right also. Of course, with the sloped roof like that, you get a little bit of compromises in terms of boot space and the rear headroom. But overall, it's okay. And I'll give you a look at the boot right now. So powered boot. That's the thing about the Chinese cars nowadays. They're all like priced at your typical Camry, high-spec Civic kind of pricing, but you get features that normally premium cars only give you. So yeah, the boot, as you can see, a little bit compromised. It's very deep, but at the same time, it's not very tall. and the lip is so high, it's like all the way near my pocket. So if you're gonna bring like a heavy piece of luggage in, you really have to like lift it up way up here near your stomach and then slide it in. And even the GWM guys acknowledge that this car is targeted towards women. If you go inside, there's a lot of very weird feminine features. So to have a feminine oriented car and then also have them do the heavy lifting and lift it all the way. I mean, yeah, I know girls can do everything guys can do, but it just feels like a little bit of a weird disconnect there, because they're obviously packaging this for a kind of lifestyle oriented customer. Yeah, I don't know if it works out. But anyway, there is a boot and it has decent amount of space, just a little bit weird packaging because of the shape. It has flush door handles like a lot of the EVs, and they kind of disappear when you lock it. And I don't know if you can hear that, but there is a sound because there's a speaker on the outside that kind of activates. Not every time, but yeah, if you leave the car alone for a few minutes and come back, then the speaker comes back on when you go inside. So yeah, on the inside, as you can see, the interior is very, very premium spec. You got a mixture of a bit of suede and a bit of leather, and the carpets are very, very deep pile. Not that you're going to take off your shoes and enjoy the carpet, but you should note that they actually went the extra mile. Only Lexus does that, as far as I can tell. Rear air blowers, USB-A, USB-C, and I think the thing to note about the interior is actually the door, because it has frameless windows, and this is something that the Seal doesn't give you, and the MG4 also doesn't give you. In the front, you have also similar kind of premium experience. Inside, you can't really say they copied Porsche. There's no really direct comparison to any Porsche I can think of. It is a little bit more unique. The only complaint I had about the interior is that the amount of space for little storage, items you want to store away, it's a little bit limited. They did try a lot. There's under compartment near the center tunnel, and there's a center storage near your armrest, and there's like a hidden cup holder as well, and the Qi charger is actually a very unique position where you slot it in this way. So they've tried to give you just enough compartments inside to be useful, but to me, yeah, it's just a little bit constrained, and you do feel that for sure. Besides that, I really like the interior. They did a pretty good job finishing everything in very high quality materials. The build quality is really excellent, and you have a really different take to digital interfaces. Like the center digital cluster is actually segmented into 3 round areas, so it is a bit different from the competition. You get pretty cool graphics on the driver instrumentation. On the infotainment, I think it's a bit hit and miss, because they did some stuff which is definitely a bit weird, a bit girly, I would say. Like, I don't know if I can get it now because it seems to have a mind of its own. Sometimes you lock the car, you unlock the car and it doesn't activate. But if, let's say, I lock the car, I go away for half an hour and then I come back in, it will actually run an animation of a fish swimming up to an island, and then on the island there's a cat, and the cat kisses the fish and it turns into a heart which floats into space, and that turns into the ORA logo. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. This actually happens on the car, and it just makes me just wonder what the hell they were smoking. So anyway, you can turn that off. That's the fun part. You can turn all of these weird things off. The lighting features are also a little bit annoying because they've got ambient lighting everywhere, and if a car is in your blind spot at night, the light on that side of the car will start blinking. So imagine your entire door strip blinks orange every time there's a car passing by. It can, it deserves a seizure warning in my opinion. And you can turn all of this off, so yes, that's a good thing. I think we can round up the design with the tires and the front. So the rims, they are 18-inch, but on a body of this shape and size, they look a bit smaller than they are. On the highest spec model, you get 19-inch, and I think that should suit the car a bit better. I haven't really seen it in the metal yet. Up front is where you get the last of the Porsche inspiration with the headlights. As you can see, this kind of shape is very, very Porsche inspired, but I don't think Porsche does this kind of chrome surround anymore. So maybe it is a little bit more retro Porsche or retro Volkswagen than modern day Porsche. I don't know. There's a little bit of intricate patterns on the inside. We'll show you some close-ups. And finally, on the bumper, you get this kind of design here. It's interesting. I think the Chinese manufacturers are among the first to realize that, hey, the bumpers are plastic, so why don't we just mold it in whatever shape we want? And you get kind of, you break the illusion that this is metal for sure, but you get a little bit more intricate design thanks to this kind of different way of thinking. Yeah, finally to note, the car is a little bit lower than you would expect. So I have on 2 occasions, in fact, coming to this car park over there, I scraped the bottom without realizing it. So yeah, it is a lot lower than you would realize now. Yeah, besides that, I think it's really a like it or hate it kind of thing with this design, because it's definitely unique in the segment, but at the same time it's very, very derivative. You look at this straight away, you know, hey, that's a Porsche inspired design. So yeah, some people will like that, some people will find it a little bit corny to copy that blatantly. So that's the ORA 07, the mid-spec long range. Check it out if you're interested in a Tesla Model 3 killer. The price is pretty good, just under 170,000 ringgit. They're giving you an 8-year warranty on the battery, and if you're one of the first few customers, you actually get the 8-year warranty on the entire car, which is pretty unique. I think they're the only ones who are offering that at the moment. There are also some other goodies like wall boxes and stuff like that. You can check it out, go to your nearest GWM showroom and find what deals you can get. I'm Subhash from DSF.my. Thanks for watching.